Okay, today we're going to be working on a small little project where you can control an LED using a potentiometer. So for this project, you're going to need a breadboard, an Arduino UNO, or at least I'm using an Arduino UNO, an LED. I'm using blue, but you can use it whatever color you want, a 220 ohm resistor, one potentiometer, and about 5 jumper wires. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing here is connecting ground. I like to start all projects by connecting ground. It just kind of protects the board and any elements from any surge or spikes. I'm not sure if that's true, but somebody told me that once, and that's what I always do. So I connect the Arduino UNO to the ground on the breadboard, and then I choose another jumper wire to connect the ground to another row. And that's what you see me here doing. Okay, so this is our 220 ohm resistor, which you can identify by the bands. So I connect that back into ground on one end, and on the other end I just make sure that it can reach back into the breadboard on its own separate row. Okay, same quick tip. The longer end is the anode end and the shorter end is the cathode end. Okay, when connecting to the breadboard, connect your anode to the same row as the resistor and the cathode to just an empty row, one below it. Okay, if you want to be able to follow along while I code this project up, make sure to connect your jumper wire to row 11 on your Arduino UNO board. And then connect that to the same cathode end as your LED. Okay, so this little dial is called a potentiometer. And you can see here mine is marked with 2 numbers, a 1 in one corner and a 3 in the other corner. And if you flip it on its side, you'll see that it has 3 pins. Okay, now to connect this on your breadboard, just find 3 empty rows and be careful when you're putting it in. You don't want to bend any of the pins. And the next thing I want to do is connect it to ground. So using the ground column marked with the negative sign, connect that to the bottom pin of the potentiometer. Then I want to connect it to power. So using the 5-volt pin on your Arduino UNO, connect that to the upmost top pin. So right now there should be a blank pin in the middle. And we're going to connect that to A0 on the Arduino and connect that into the middle slot of the potentiometer. And that should do it. It should be all wired up. Okay, great. Now just take a second to review the connections posted here on the side. Make sure that you have yours wired up the same way, and you should be ready to go to the next step, which is the code. Okay, to be able to code up this project, we're going to need to connect our Arduino UNO to the computer. Okay, let's get started with the code here. So first I just want to make a new line, and I have to set the variables. So we're going to set the potentiometer knob to a variable. So that's what I'm doing here, int knob, connected to 0, and I'm going to do int LED. So that's for the light. I'm going to connect that to 11. So remember, these are corresponding to the pins we connected into the Arduino. And int value is going to be the value of the knob as it's turned. Okay, so we're just going to jump into the setup code here. So you got to set the pin mode of the LED, and we're going to set that as an output. Then we also have to set the serial of the board, and we're going to do 9600 as the rate. Okay, and so now we're just going to do the loop. So we're going to have the value equal to the analog read, so the reading from the potentiometer of the value knob, which we set to pin 0. We're also going to print the line, so we're going to print the value, and again, as we stated, the value is what is being read from the knob as it is spun. If it isn't turned, then the value will stay the same, but as it turns, the value will change. And we're going to write that to the LED, and so the LED is taking the value from the position of the knob. We're going to wait 10 seconds, and then we're going to do it again. So we're going to quickly try and upload that, and just like everyone else, I'm prone to error too. So you'll see here that instead of value, I put val. So just a small typo. So just put value and try and upload again, and you'll see that this time it should be a success. Okay, great, it worked. Okay, so now all plugged in. If we spin the knob, what we should see is the brightness of the LED change, and perfect, that's what we're seeing here. So I can twist the knob up and down, back and forth, and you'll see that the value of the LED changes. So I'll call this project a success.